Key takeaways from The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells. In 1897, H.G. Wells introduced the world to a scientist who solved one of humanity's oldest fantasies, the power to become unseen. But instead of a story about freedom, he wrote one of the darkest warnings in science fiction. Here's what the Invisible Man still has to teach us. The story in brief. A mysterious stranger arrives at an English inn, wrapped head to toe in bandages, gloves, and dark glasses, demanding to be left alone. He is Griffin, a brilliant chemist who has discovered a formula to make living tissue invisible and use it on himself. At first, it seems like a triumph of science. But Griffin quickly discovers that invisibility isn't a gift. He can't be seen, but he still casts a shadow, still leaves footprints in mud, still gets rained on. He can't eat in public without his food floating grotesquely in midair. He can't sleep without hiding from view. The power that was supposed to make him extraordinary instead makes him unable to simply live among other people. Isolated and desperate, Griffin turns to theft and intimidation to survive, and eventually to violence, declaring what he calls a reign of terror against the town that fails to help him. By the novel's end, he is hunted down and beaten to death by a mob, becoming visible again only in the moment of his dying. Takeaway 1. Power without responsibility corrupts. Griffin doesn't set out to become a villain. He starts as an ambitious scientist chasing a genuine discovery. But the moment he gains power with no one able to see, and therefore no one able to hold him accountable, his behavior spirals. Wells suggests that visibility, quite literally, is part of what keeps people honest. Remove the possibility of being seen, judged, or caught, and even a rational man can talk himself into cruelty. Takeaway 2. Isolation is the price of secrecy. Griffin wanted power, but what he actually built was a prison. To keep his invisibility secret, he had to cut himself off from every human connection. No friends, no collaboration, no one to confide in or slow him down. By the time he needs help, he has no one left to ask. Wells frames this as a warning that any life built entirely on hiding your true self from others, even for a good reason, tends to end in loneliness rather than freedom. Takeaway 3. Unchecked science needs ethics, not just brilliance. Griffin never considers the consequences of his discovery before using it on himself. How he'll eat, sleep, stay warm, or ever reverse it. His genius outpaces his judgment. Wells was writing at the height of the Industrial Revolution's scientific optimism, and this novel is his caution. Raw intelligence without foresight or ethical restraint doesn't just fail, it becomes dangerous to everyone nearby. Takeaway 4. Being unseen is not the same as being free. Perhaps the book's sharpest irony is that Griffin's invisibility, which should have been liberating, becomes his greatest vulnerability. He can't prove who he is, can't ask for help without revealing himself, and can't be recognized even as a victim when the mob finally turns on him. Wells suggests real freedom isn't about escaping the sight of others. It's about being able to exist among them without fear. Closing thought. More than a century later, The Invisible Man still resonates, not as a story about a chemical formula, but about what happens to any person or any institution once they believe no one is watching. Griffin's tragedy wasn't that he became invisible. It's that invisibility revealed exactly who he already was.